Welcome to Seasons of Life, a biblical perspective for how to navigate life's ups and downs. Do you feel overwhelmed? Or do you feel successful? Experiencing loss? This weekly 15-minute word of inspiration will motivate you to live with more wisdom and peace. Here is your host, Pastor Mercy Oduah.
Hello and welcome to Seasons of Life, a biblical perspective for overcoming your life challenges. I am Mercy Oduah, and the goal of my 10 minutes inspirational talk is to let you know that pain and suffering are regular occurrences of life and to offer you a spiritual guide, a spiritual support as you go through your pain, as you go through the ups and downs of life. This is episode 9, and if you miss episode 1 to 8, you can always go back to listen to them. I emphasize that I am sharing my experiences from loss and pain in my video talk. This is the reason why I am here, to share my experiences from grief and pain, because I experienced them as well. And my desire is that you will find something beneficial as you go through your painful seasons as well. So I sense in my spirit at this time that this is the right message for us all in the seasons that we are living right now. We're living in a season of brokenness, pain, and suffering. And we must tailor our message to accommodate what people are going through so that they can recover, they can be encouraged. There is no need talking about something that is irrelevant. What is needed right now is the right message to calm the fears in the heart of people. We need the right message from our pulpit, from organization, from anything that we are doing that involves speaking with people. We need to encourage people. We need to know that the seasons have changed. We are in a different season worldwide. Today is episode 9, and I'm going to talk about who you know. Who you know. Because even in the social system, if you know somebody in high places, you will get what you want. Yes, this is the kind of world that we live in. If you know somebody in a high place, you will get what you want. If your uncle is a bank manager in a bank, you will get the loan that you're looking for. So, who do you know? I ask you now, spiritually, who do you know to help you in your seasons of distress? That thing that you're going on now, that situation that is going on in your life, who do you know in that pain and suffering? Because when I was in my distress, I discovered that even though I had people, good intention people around me, I discovered that I needed God. I needed more than what they can give me. Knowing God and having a relationship with Him before my son died was a tremendous asset for my recovery. Knowing God before my son died was a great asset to my recovery. I often wonder about how people can go through life without God, even at this dangerous time that we're living in. It is a lot of mental anguish to go on without God. In my own distress, I find Psalm 46 very comforting. The Psalms opens up by telling us that God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in distress. So we have an open invitation to come to God with our distress from divorce, from broken home, from sickness, and other complex issues that we're facing. Is telling us, David, the writer of the psalm, is telling you and me that God is our refuge and our strength, an ever-present help in time of distress. So God is your help. And not only is he your help, his help is constant. So in your trial and tribulation, the person that you need beyond therapy, beyond counseling that the world offers us, the person that you need is God. Why? Because he sees the whole situation. He sees the end of that situation that you're facing already. So he's able to guide you on how to live. However, it is difficult to call on God if you do not have a knowledge of him and if you are not in relationship with him. It is hard to call on him. Knowing God is different from having a relationship with him. There are two things: to know God and then to have a relationship with him. Both are vital. Both must go hand in hand. We cannot stop at knowing God. We take a step further to have a relationship with him. Just like you have a relationship with your earthly parents if they are still alive. You communicate to them, you talk to them, or with your friends in your social circle. We talk with our friends every day on the phone, social media. There is communication to keep it going. So we must have a relationship with God that is beyond just knowing him. Knowing God is like having the raw material that will get you the finished products. Because I know God and I am in relationship with him, I can get the healing, the comfort, and strength I need in my distress. After all, the book of Daniel chapter 11:23 tells us that they that know their God shall be strong and take action. If you know God, you are going to be strong and you are going to take any action necessary for your survival. God's power will sustain you in your trouble more than anything else. Why? Because it's divine. So I ask you, do you know God? And are you in relationship with him? Do you relate with him so that he can help you in that situation that you are facing, in that difficult times that you're in? Do you depend more on your friends? Believe me, you need more than human in that situation. You need more than human help in that situation because the help of man will not sustain you for a while. It will not sustain you during trial. Why? People are busy with their lives and struggles as well. So they go about their business, leaving you by yourself at the end of the day. And there is no one to help except God. People are busy. They must go about their life after all is said and done. you find yourself by yourself again, facing the same issue. And that is normal for people to talk to you and then leave you for a while. They cannot stay with you 24 hours, 7 days a week. What about those sleepless nights too? This sleepless night of anxiety, insomnia, you cannot sleep, depression, fear. Your thought is battling with you. You're hearing all kinds of stuff in your mind that is bombarding you, causing you to despair, to give up, because you are in the midnight. The night is quiet and dark, and all you hear is yourself talking to yourself. So at that time, are you able to call any of your friend? Of course not. You won't want to, because they are sleeping too. They need their rest. But I assure you that you can call on God because you know Him and relate to Him. You can call on Him 24 hours, 7 days a week. And He is obligated to help you. He is obligated to rest his strength and His peace and His healing upon you, because that is His character. Yes, as I said before, if you have an uncle or a relative in the bank and you are applying for a loan, when that person sees your name, he feels a sense of duty, a sense of obligation to help you because you're related. So God always have that sense of duty to help us because we know Him and we are in relationship with Him. Now, I want you to know that it's not about which church you go. What is your religious affiliation? No, it's not about, are you Pentecostal? Are you Catholic? Are you Jehovah Witness? Are you Muslim? It's not about that, because trouble do not discriminate. When trouble hits, it hits everyone, irrespective of your affiliation, your social status, your religious status. Trouble does not discriminate. It affects everybody. What you need is a sound biblical teaching and constant communication with God. And especially in times of trouble, you need sound biblical teaching and constant communication with God, so that in time of trouble, He will lead you beside the still waters. He will quiet your soul and lead you beside the still waters, according to Psalm 23, verse 2. Moreover, pain and suffering are not in vain. God uses pain and suffering to grow us as we turn them to Him. He is not the source of all our pain and suffering. Some of them are caused by us. But in His mercy, as we shift our pain and suffering to Him, He will turn it into a purpose. But the devil uses our pain and suffering to destroy us, to make us not to reach our potential in God. You see, God knows what He puts in you. And at the appointed time, He will come to harvest that thing that He put in you. And most of the time, it happens during pain and tribulation. Because when you are in pain, when you are in the anguish, in the valley of anguish from loss, from sickness, from anxiety, from broken home, whatever complex issues life is throwing to you, when you are in that anguish, in that valley, What you need is to look up to the mountain. And you can only look up to the mountain from your valley. You cannot look further down or you will sink. You can look up to the mountain, and that mountain is regarded as God. The psalm says, I look up to the hills, I look up to the mountain. Where comes my help? Our help comes from God. But you have to have a relationship with Him. Maybe you need to ask yourself, what am I going through? All these calamities. Maybe God is trying to get your attention with your pain, because your pain is not in vain. And now that the storm of life has hit you, He is at the door of your heart knocking for you to open up so that He can help you, because He's the only one that can actually help you. Remember the man Jonah in the Bible? He was running away from God. God put a purpose in him. God has called him to do something. But he was running away from fulfilling that assignment. And then he entered a boat and sailed to another side of the world, thinking that he was going to get away from God. But in that boat, there was a big fish waiting for him. And that fish, the whale, swallowed him up when he was thrown outside the boat. And Jonah cried unto the Lord. And again, God in his mercy delivered him and redirected him to do his will. So ask yourself in that situation, God, what are you telling me? Come into this pain. And if you don't know him, this is a moment for you to reflect and see what he's telling you. Maybe you need to break away from distractions such as traditions and beliefs and embrace the one who will make a difference in your life. I tell you, the best thing that will happen to you in your seasons of pain and suffering is finding God and connecting with God. There is nothing as powerful, as beneficial as finding God and connecting with God in your seasons of sadness. So as I close, I say, may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. And may you open your eyes. May you open your ears. And may you open the door of your heart for God to come in. Shalom to you. See you next Sunday.
Thank you for watching this episode of Seasons of Life. Until next time, be well, and may God bless you.